Welcome to HR News Australia. I'm Alex Stewart. In today's bulletin, Bonza Airlines ceases paying wages to its employees amidst its voluntary administration. Non-compete clauses and growing scrutiny from regulatory bodies in Australia. McKinsey Company examines the impact of generative AI on the Australian workforce. In international news, 9,000 women to sue entertainment giant Disney in a class action lawsuit alleging pay disparity. And finally, technology debt in HR. Is lack of prioritisation damaging the potential of human resources in organisations? In our first story, Dexter Tylo of HCAmag.com reports that amidst entering voluntary administration, Bonza Airlines administrators Hall Chadwick have taken the drastic step of standing down its employees without pay. This move has sent shockwaves through the workforce and raised concerns about the financial security of the affected employees. Meanwhile, Hall Chadwick, the administrators for Bonza, have acknowledged the gravity of the situation. They revealed that they had no alternative but to take this action due to the company's undisclosed financial position. The Transport Workers Union has swiftly responded, advocating for the urgent repayment of wages to these employees. TWU officials are urging the administrators to prioritise the financial well-being of the workers during this challenging time. Hall Chadwick has reassured stakeholders that they are actively working to find the best possible resolution. ABC News has also reported on the emotional toll this news has taken on the affected staff, who are now seeking guidance on navigating through this uncertain period. As the situation continues to develop, the TWU and other stakeholders remain committed to supporting the affected employees. We will closely monitor this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. In our next story, Michael Burns reports in HRM Online that non-compete clauses are facing increasing scrutiny following significant legal developments both in Australia and abroad. These clauses, commonly found in employment contracts, restrict employees from working for competitors or their former employers for a specified period within a defined geographic area. The rationale behind non-compete clauses is to safeguard the legitimate business interests of the former employer, typically involving confidential information and customer relationships. However, this protection must be balanced against the rights of the former employee to pursue their profession and earn a living. Courts play a crucial role in adjudicating the enforceability of these clauses, ensuring they are not overly restrictive and only enforced to the extent necessary to protect the employer's interests. Typically, these restraints are more likely to be enforced for senior employees with significant access to confidential information or customer relationships. However, there is growing concern about the fairness of imposing these restraints on relatively junior or lower-level employees who may not have had access to such sensitive information. This concern has led for calls for reform, with critics arguing that these clauses hinder labour market mobility and unfairly restrict employees' opportunities. In a recent unfair dismissal case, the Fair Work Commission considered the impact of a non-compete clause on the applicant's ability to mitigate loss from their dismissal. The decision shed light on the disconnect between legal principles and employer practices regarding these clauses. The debate over non-compete clauses extends beyond Australia, with similar discussions taking place in the USA. The Federal Trade Commission has taken steps to ban non-compete clauses in employment contracts, except for senior executives, citing concerns about their impact on worker mobility and innovation. In Australia, the Competition Review Task Force is examining non-compete clauses and seeking submissions on their impact. While concerns about their effect on worker mobility and innovation may be valid, some argue that reform can address these issues without outright banning these clauses. As discussions continue, it's essential to strike a balance between protecting legitimate business interests and ensuring fair opportunities for these employees. We'll keep you updated on any developments in this ongoing debate. McKinsey Company have examined the impact of generative AI on the Australian workforce in a recent article featured on consultancy.com.au. The introduction of generative AI has prompted McKinsey & Co. to revise its previous figures on the potential impacts of automation on the Australian workforce by 2030. The analysis reveals that 62% of Australia's labour market is presently spent on tasks that could be automated with existing technologies, making a significant increase from McKinsey's previous assessment conducted 5 years ago. This surge is attributed to the emergence of generative AI, which has rapidly transformed the landscape of automation. McKinsey's initial projections from 2019 underestimated the potential impact of technology, with their updated analysis indicating that up to 98% of work activities could hypothetically become automated by 2030. This revision underscores the transformative effect of generative AI, particularly in knowledge-based sectors. The implications of these findings are profound, suggesting a potential upheaval in the Australian workforce, with millions of full-time equivalent positions at risk of displacement by the end of the decade. McKinsey's modelling indicates that nearly 10% of the Australian workforce may need to transition out of their current roles to adapt to these changes. The impact of generative AI is expected to be particularly pronounced in white-collar professions, such as professional, educational, scientific, technological, and financial services. McKinsey predicts a fundamental shift in skills demand across these sectors, necessitating access to higher education and skills training for successful adaptation. Despite these challenges posed by this technological shift, McKinsey views it as a significant opportunity for the national economy. They estimate that generative AI alone could potentially lift Australian labour productivity by as much as 1.1 percentage points per year through 2030, with combined potential from other automation technologies reaching up to 4.1 annual percentage points. However, realising this potential will require bold and thoughtful adoption of technology by employers, governments, and educators. McKinsey emphasises the importance of proactive measures to navigate this transition effectively and harness the benefits of technological innovation for economic growth and prosperity. In international HR news, a US judge has given the green light for 9,000 women to sue entertainment giant Disney in a class action lawsuit alleging pay disparity. These female employees have worked for Disney in California since 2015 in non-union positions below the level of vice president. They are seeking justice for what they perceive as unequal treatment in terms of pay. The lawsuit encompasses women who have worked in various sectors of Disney, including Disneyland hotels and theme parks, the cruise line, Disney film and TV studios, ABC, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and other units. According to plaintiff's attorney Laurie Andrus, these women have been advocating for fair treatment and respect in the workplace, asserting they have been gaslighted by Disney for 4 years. The US judge has certified this lawsuit as the largest ever under California's Equal Pay Act, dismissing Disney's claims that the case was too extensive to manage. Disney expressed disappointment with the court's ruling regarding the Equal Pay Act claims and is exploring its options. Both parties have enlisted experts to examine the existence of a gender pay gap. Andrus revealed that the starting pay for women across the class is 2% lower than for men. The trial is anticipated to take place before October next year. This lawsuit underscores ongoing efforts to address pay discrimination and promote gender equality in the workplace. In other international news, as HR leaders increasingly turn to emerging technologies to address workloads and support business strategies, many are encountering a related challenge: HR software sprawl. This phenomenon leads to wasted resources, unrealised returns on technology investments, and undermines the employee experience. In an article by David Zelensky, the issue of flawed purchasing decisions and inadequate governance of existing technologies contributing to the HR software sprawl is broken down to its core elements. Zelensky highlights the accumulation of these issues into a form of technology debt for HR, posing obstacles at a time when new technologies like generative AI offer significant productivity and efficiency benefits. A study found that 53% of SaaS licenses in organisations go unused, indicating significant waste and untapped potential from software purchases. Furthermore, large organisations now average 371 SaaS applications, a 32% increase from 2021. The HR function often struggle to decommission old systems when new technologies are introduced, exacerbating the problem of software sprawl. Additionally, flawed governance of existing technology systems, including the presence of shadow systems, further contribute to the issue. However, strict centralised approval of HR technology purchases isn't always the solution, as it can stifle innovation. Instead, organisations should adapt a two-track approach, allowing for experimentation with decentralised technologies while maintaining centralised oversight for larger investments. The proliferation of AI tools such as generative AI used by employees without formal approval also contributes to technology sprawl. Without proper oversight, this can lead to issues such as bias in critical HR processes like recruiting and performance management. To address these challenges, HR leaders must make better technology buying decisions, linking purchases to high-priority business and talent needs. Additionally, organisations should prioritise decommissioning outdated platforms to streamline systems and mitigate security risks. Ultimately, improving HR technology outcomes requires clear governance structures, accountability for technology-related responsibilities, and a systematic approach to evaluating the impact of technology investments. By addressing these issues, organisations can better harness the potential of HR technology to drive business value and enhance the employee experience. That's all for this week. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe for more weekly news. I'm Alex Stewart, signing off.